Hey guys, welcome to another stream. Sorry about the no, Eric, it's not the Pearl. Sorry about the skip there in the on YouTube. I don't know what happened. OBS stopped working and then came right back. Took it about 30 seconds. And if you saw in my description, I was supposed to be getting, I did get Enterprise parts today. The only problem is they sent me Enterprise part, the issue 3, which I already had and I did last week. So I now have a full set of issue 3 that I have nothing to do with, except the if I can reach it, massive screw box. I will definitely use that. And I have to say, I'm not impressed with how well they put the sticker on this time. Must have been a Friday afternoon at about 4:30. So, instead, going to be doing the next issue of the Ecto, which is issue 15. Not sure if I'm going to do anything on Thursday. I've been kicking the idea around. I probably will, but since I don't have the won't have Enterprise, this is my last issue for the Ecto for right now. It'll probably be not the Pearl, Eric. That's Sunday stream. The T800, because the T800 hasn't gotten any love in a long time. So, and then next week I'll do something on the X-Wing. So, let me switch cameras real quick. Everything should be working. Should is a big word. Everything's acting up tonight. So let me see. Let me double check. The camera's working. Droid cam is acting up. Hang on. The problem is right now this one thinks it's still connected. And it actually shut Droid Cam all the way down. Okay, let me try this again. Oh, this is... you know what they say, live TV. Got a lot on this phone that's opened right now. Okay, so let me restart this phone, and I guess I'll talk to you a little bit instead. It was supposed to be, I set up everything. Yes, Stitch. I set up everything, and everything was all set, and Eric's like, this is what happens when you snub the Pearl. I didn't snub the Pearl, Eric. It's just that I figured on the live stream that could end up being interesting. Droid Cam came back up on its own. On the live stream that could end up being 4 or 5, who knows how long, you would appreciate that better. Okay, let me try turning this all the way off. Hey, Spencer. So, and technical difficulties. My phone is acting up and not letting me run Droid Cam off of it. I had laid out here somewhere. Where did I put that stuff? Man, I'll tell you what. It's a good thing my head's attached today because I would lose it. Oh, it's right in front of me. Can't do Biggie. Got no parts. I'd love to do the Enterprise, but I can't. So while I'm waiting for the phone to restart, Got something in the mail today. Anybody who's on HobbyLink International is going to know what this is. And probably Donnie is playing with his right now. This came in the mail today, and this is a flasher board for, it's a standard basic Starship. You've got in there, you've got the power in, ground, strobes, and navs. Is that the big E? But it's a pretty nice little board. HobbyLink International just now put it out, so as soon as it was available, I bought two because I have projects that can use it. Wow. Okay, might have to go to backup camera number 2. I now have 2 cameras that don't talk to DroidCam very well. But it's a really good little board, and this little bitty board here, which comes pre-soldered, everything's already pre-done on it. All you gotta do, there's 2 connections that you gotta make. I'll have to talk to Spence about that. That replaces everything that's in this bowl here, which I've built half of the circuit. That took me a couple hours, and it is just a flippin' mess. I am really excited about using this board. Oh no! So let me put this board. Those of you who aren't looking at the chat may not have, or probably didn't see that Spencer said that I had it upside down and all the electrons are going to fall out. So let's try this one. So 1-133 1 point. The only question is it gonna play nice? Because the reason I haven't been using this one, no, it's not. Yeah, the reason I haven't been using this one is it's an older phone and it is not playing well with others. The video is actually frozen. And I'm going to try and just completely shut down DroidCam. I don't see. Oh, there it is. Very interesting. So this one probably needs to have it removed and reinstalled. Here's hoping I don't get a phone call while we're doing this. Sorry about this, guys. This doesn't work. We're going without my main camera, which kind of sucks. Interesting. Okay, so that's it for DroidCam for tonight, because it is just not wanting to play. Bring that back up. 8675309. Good song. Sorry. I'm not going to talk anymore. Well, I am going to talk more, but what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to switch to, let's see, is that one, how well is that one working? That one's still got a little bit of strobing, but I can fix that. That should be better. I have too many cameras. They get jealous of each other and then no longer work, apparently. So it's not the best camera, but it is a camera. And like I said, great little board. Cannot wait to check it out. This means that I will be getting back to my Voyager model, because I was working on the board I showed you earlier, the one that I was building, to do the flashers on it. This, with the just one leg for strobes, one leg for the flashers, the marker beacons, should do some fantastic work, because it's capable of up to 40 or up to 20 LEDs or 3 LED strip LED segments on each leg. So up to 40 LEDs. Not bad for a little bitty board like that. Okay, and have to admit, last week or last Thursday when I worked on the Ecto, I want to say it was this box that I had out. I had a bunch of stuff in the box that I store this stuff in. So the reason I was having some issues getting some screws to stick and some of them stripping out is because I didn't have both boxes. So some of the plastic screws in here are metal screws and so on and so forth. That's why it was a little iffy last time. So here's the issue. Let me bring out the parts one at a time, because some of these parts are massive. This is the back of the Ecto, the lab area, and it
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
It explains why this, I was thinking this went here, it actually goes here. And so it'll fit down inside there really well. And then pack 51, this is, oh actually this is 52, this is the second one. 51 has some more stuff that's going to go up on top of here, has some cabling. '53 has some more, it's internals for some of the testing equipment. And let me see if I can get it in there. You can't see it very well because of the light. And speaking of lights, I've had some issues with my lights. Yes, Mark, I have a screw loose. Several of them, actually. This is one aftermarket board I may go find, because this is an oscilloscope and you can barely see that. Once it's in the car, you're not going to be able to see it at all. There is an actual LED or LCD out there. I think it's, not sure if it's an LCD or what kind of screen it is, that actually looks like the oscilloscope. There's an aftermarket part out there. And then some more miscellaneous parts to finish tonight off. So let me get part 51 out. Open the book and see. Try not to knock the camera over because it's in harm's way. That's there. And that way you can also see Stitch. Should have worn Goofy for Eric. So let me open this up. Oh, and anybody who is regular on Discord will be glad to know that My wife and I went out and rocked again tonight, and so the rock is finally done, except for 2 small areas we're still going to do. New mod for the Enterprise? I did not, Mark. What are they doing now? I'm very interested to see what they're doing next for the Enterprise D. Man, that one did not want to let go, and this one's up here. So how is Kelly, speaking of your boss, Kenny? And in case you're wondering, Kenny, no, you didn't miss anything. Got a new interface for lifeboats. I'll have to look at that and see what it is. So this is a Sono channel ASA 20 something. I'm sure it's something made up for the movie. Interesting. Very interested to see what Wayne did. And that's the thing with as many videos as I've done just recently, I'm falling further and further behind on YouTube, my watching YouTube, but that's okay. So you take this part here, the Sono 20, the base. So I see screw holes, but of course it does not show in the picture. Okay, there it is. I was looking to see where the mounting peg was and everything, because there's a mounting peg, completely different camera than what I'm used to. Oh, and speaking of the lights. Oh, okay, you must be talking about the decals, Mark, because I've seen those. I'm just not willing to spend that much money for the decals. So what I was about to say was about the light. Been having problems with the strobing from the LED lights, and then yesterday morning, let me put the other camera on so you can see the LED shop light that I have right here, which I already have one that's failed, and I'm waiting for Honeywell to send me a new one. It failed as well. So two for two out of the first pack of these things that I bought a year and a half ago. Yeah, a year and a half ago. So now I'm looking. Decal goes over the ones that come with it. Yep. Yeah, I want to say that those decal sheets are pricey. I want to say they're like $80. And I know on a $1,600 model, that's not a lot of money. But so with this shop light going up, I now have 3 not LCDs, CFLs above me, and unfortunately they're daylight, or they're warm white instead of cool white, so they're not as bright as I'd like, and so things are a little bit yellow tonight. So that's neither here nor there. Let me get back to this. So on here, that pin is going to go, this pin here. Nice autofocus on this thing. Hang on. Nobody get seasick. I'm switching cameras again because I've got a better camera. This one's a better camera than that one. So I can move it, tilt it down. You guys can get a better look. Yeah, see, it's got a much better autofocus. So that pin there, or I'm not sure where that pin there goes. This hole or pin should go into this hole here, as far as I can tell. Except, oh, you know what? Okay. It's going to go on the back side of this piece instead. Yeah, absolutely, Mark. More than I want to spend for some decals. Depending on, well, obviously depending on what it's for. So that pin, locator pin is going to go in there. And then 2 BP screws will go, a BP screw will go here and here. Speaking of screws and screwdrivers, I'm just batting 1,000 tonight. My screw box is now, or my screwdriver box is now gone. Not where I'm expecting it to be, but fortunately, I have a spare. There's no practice on this, guys. What you see is what actually happens. It's also part of the reason I don't, on my videos, I don't do a whole lot of editing. I like to just have whatever happens, happen. Except, of course, like what happened to Shu today when he did a video and got no sound. But we've all had that happen, I'm sure. Oh, yay. Because I'm trying to figure out how to get this camera where the action is. There we go. Yep, I have sound. You may not see anything, but I have sound. Okay, so those 2 screws go in there. When we get to the larger areas, I'll throw a different camera into the mix because I have one over my shoulder. I just need to see if I can zoom it in. Come on. So that's how that looks. Let's slide this up here. This attaches on here. So you got the chair, the drop, the jump seat right here. This attaches right here. There's a locating hole there and to go along with this locating pin. So that'll go on there like that, and it gets attached by 2 more BP screws. Finally, after 20 minutes of chaos, I'm settling into a groove. Of course, you get to keep seeing my arm. Let me see. Let's try something here. I'm going to try drop the window behind. Move that over there. Bring OBS back up. Close that. There. That is probably the best I'm going to get tonight. Sucks when the camera you're planning on just quits on you. Okay, so on here, you would think it would go. Actually, hang on. I should be able to turn this light back on and give it a little bit more. So I would think that these two lugs here is where you would put the screws in, but you don't. You put them in here and here. Top end here and bottom one here. So let me put that one in. And that one. Bear with me, guys, as I learn this setup I'm using right now, because my cameras are in the wrong spot, so I gotta figure out when I'm showing something to the camera where to go. Okay, that looks like that. Come on, focus. Now you can see the screws here, oops, and here. And then this piece here, goes on top. There looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 screws on here. And all the holes come up through the top. So there's one here, 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 and then 2 on the outer edges here. No locating lugs on the top or the bottom. I'm about to install it backwards because from the angle I'm looking at it from. So there's that center hole. And these are BP screws as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the center hole here, matching up with the center hole here. Then I should be able to line the rest of them up pretty easily. So like I said on, I think it was Thursday, magnetic screwdrivers are great until you're trying to keep the screw down into where it's supposed to go. There is one locating pin right there by my thumb, way out of focus. There's a locator pin right there, goes into a hole right here, which is going to make this thing a whole lot easier. There. So that first one is started. Let me get the rest of them all started. There's one down here at the very end. And these are, the BP screws are pretty small. And I'm just getting all of them started right now. Once they're all started, I will go back and tighten them all down. Of course, 2 screws won't fit in that hole. These go in the outer edge here. So let me tighten everything down. That one's snug. course, what's funny is I said something about my orange screwdriver box being missing. Got out my blue screwdriver box, and I'm using a screwdriver from the Ecto build now. Oh, not the Ecto, but the DeLorean build. Since I'm using this other camera, I didn't think about it until just now, let me get this one out of the way. Okay. Fitting the flex tubes. Let me see what the call-outs are on each of them. Shortest ones are D, medium are E, and longest ones are F. D, E, and F, and oh, duh, these are zip ties. I was about to grab the zip ties as the shorter ones. So we have F, E, and D, and then 2 zip ties, and then I'm going to get rid of this plastic. So D, first one runs from, and there, see, so there are holes in here. Come on, focus. There are holes, even if you can't see it, there you can almost see it. There are holes here and various other places on here. These cables run around the backs of the seats. So the first one looks like it runs from the outer spot here, and these cables, or cables, whatever you want to call them, you can see there, just barely. You can see that it's a little bit flared on the end, so once it goes in, it should stay pretty well. If it goes all the way in. Maybe. So it goes in here. Nah. I'm looking for something like the pointy end of a file to push this in here. Further than it's going to go otherwise. Sometimes you need more hands than you got. It's in. I don't think it's going to fall out. This one runs around underneath. According to this, it should run around to the far hole over here. There we go. That one went in. This one's not going in very far because it comes out. Okay, come on. Where we at? It comes out in that corner right there. So it's not coming out as far as I'd like it to, but I think I can get it to stay there. And then this is going to push down around the back here. And then the next D is going to go into the edge of the silver right here, and it will actually hold down, help to hold down the first one that I just put in there. See if I can get it to push in further. No, of course not. Let me see. This one wraps up over this. It's funny because I'm like, how do they know where this stuff was? Because this was inside the car where we never saw it. There may have been mock-ups of it, but still, it's detail beyond what you would normally see in the movies. Ah, come on. That little tip on the edge of the end of the heads is good if you can get it all the way in. But right now, it's being a pain in my behind. Because that one just rolled right back out. No, not quite. I was going to say I think it went all the way in, but it didn't. Maybe it's in far enough. So this comes across here, and then, of course, that one falls out. Are you guys taking bets yet on how soon I get frustrated and just start gluing the shit out of everything? This one is supposed to come up underneath that one. I understand why they're laying them the way they are. And when I watched World of Wayne do this, I was like, man, that shouldn't be that hard. My hat is off to the man, he managed to get it in. Okay, that one's in. That one's kind of in, kind of broken. Let's see if I can get this one to go all the way through like that other one. Because if I can get one end through to where I can pull on it, I can pull it tight. There we go. And it won't matter that that one is a little bit off. Well, not off, it's a little bit worn, but it, now that this is sitting on top of it, so both of them like that. And figure C has the two long ones. Oh wait, figure E. So 51E, the two 51Es go into these two holes here. There you can see them looking like eyes, and then they'll go into the two holes down here as well. When's it coming to my block? Good for you, though, Kenny. It's going to be good for you to not have to deal with the optimum internet anymore. Can't speak anymore. See if I can get a hold of this. That one's good. Good. Not surprised he would be happy. And based on what you've said about your internet, ours is actually pretty good most of the time. But what really sucks is when it just goes down at a random interval, and everything, and I mean everything, shuts off. No more Netflix. Of course, it's usually in the evening when there's nothing else that you can do besides just maybe watch a little bit of tube. Okay, that is that one right there. What I'm managing to do, guys, is I'm managing to grab the end of the cables and pull them through the way they're supposed to. Fortunately, once this is done, they all get zip tied together and they should stay in place. So actually, Kenny, what you're saying is your boss called you up and he said, I have good news and I have bad news. And he said, what's the good news? And he said, FiOS is coming to your area. And you're like, cool, what's the bad news? He said, you're going to be on overtime for the next 10 years. And you were like, cool, that's not bad news. Okay. The last two of these. Let's see. Going to the worst holes that there are. So this first one, there is no way to pull it through inside, so I'm going to just have to cram it as far as I can down inside and hope it stays there. It should, because once it's in place, nothing should be pulling on it. I hate spam calls. I should have actually answered and let you guys listen to me how I deal with these people, because I am not polite to them anymore. I understand it's their job, but I also understand that it's 7 o'clock at night here. And I'm not in the mood to deal with them. Especially when I don't need an extended warranty on my car. My car has still got several years left on its extended warranty that I bought with it. Okay. It's still there. $20.26 at 53. Kind of hate you, Kenny. I hate you right now, because I'm retiring in 2027 at 62. Okay, got that one in. So these two will just lay across the top like that. And run up to the front seat because there's going to be something later on that grabs them. Yeah, I understand, but Kenny, mine's a 40-year plan, but it's going to be 2 retirements. So, on the one hand, it's great that you're able to retire earlier like that. Let's see. I mean, I think that is fantastic. I wish I could retire sooner. And I could, but I have a house payment. So right now I'm just getting to the point where my house payment won't kill my retirement. And so what you're saying is in 2026, Kelly's going to come home and she's going to say, Kenny, what's for dinner? So this one should go right about here. Cool. Good on you, Mark. I wasn't catching it all. Seems like there's just a whole bunch of old people building models these days. Okay, that's tight. That's tight. So that is what the cables look like. I had a thought while I was doing this, and I'm going to implement it now because it's not that hard. Let me grab all of this stuff. Great thing about having so many tables in the shop is that I can reconfigure on the fly and have a better workstation. So this is here. I'm just looking. The only thing I have to do is now move windows around so that I still have the chat. Okay. It paused again. The video paused again. So I think let's see. Half your pension will pay off your house. Yes, you will. Oh wait, no. I'm done in 3 years. Oh, I'm just catching up with the chat, guys. Sweet Mark. We are old. All of us are old. I think I'm close to the oldest, but I don't think so based on, depending on ages and whether people are retiring in their 60s or not. Some people cheating like retiring in their 50s, and I think more youngsters will play with the 3D printers. I think so too. I'm not at all excited about getting a 3D printer. I should be, because there's a lot of things you can do, but I'm happy with what I've got, especially since I've got such a huge stash. 49 in August. Yeah. And Spence is turning like 13 this year, right? Okay. So a little bit of rearrangement. And now you should be able to see a little bit better what I'm doing. So next part that we unbox is massive. And so this is where I think it's funny that sometimes people complain about how much the packs are for these things. This issue costs the same as, wow, nice plastic. Not the part itself, but the plastic that holds it is really broken. Just felt something. Ah, screws. But this, you know, this issue with the same. Yes, he is. This issue with a whole lot of pieces to it, a whole lot of plastic, costs just as much as the ones that have nothing in them. People don't understand that these things, they have to balance out. So now that I got this up here where I can work with it, so on the bottom here you've got 4 lugs. Now we'll go into these 4 holes here. They should. Or am I putting this thing? No, it's right. Okay, so I'm trying to put it oddly in there. So it fits on here like that. And then where'd that pack of screws go? Need 4 DP screws. And this is actually a better workspace for this because we're about to attach the front floor pan as well, which means this thing is about to get huge. And one of the dogs is knocking at the door. Wow. Trying to put a black screw into a hole on a black part, which is supposed to catch to another black part, is a little bit difficult. Okay, that one's threaded, so now I can turn this over and just get the others done. Excuse my head if I block the camera. There's that one. It feels more like it's cross-threaded than threaded. And then that one. Come on. It would help a lot if I was actually there. That one that felt like was cross-threaded wasn't cross-threaded, it was just hitting nothing. Okay. Now let me get this. Should be that one. Yeah, that should be good. Ah, come on. Very nice of them to put these lugs way down inside of here like that. I think I finally got one to tighten all the way down. Double check on this one. Come on. These last two just don't want to go all the way down. You don't want to seat it to the floor. And I'm off camera, of course. Try backing these out and putting them back in. If they'll come back out. Awesome. Now it won't go in or out. It's most of the way out. Yeah. I'm going to get rid of that one. Good, it's only those two still flapping around. I would hate to have one of the other ones come loose. So that's flat against there. Let me see if this one will go in the way it's supposed to. It's almost like the screw is too long. Okay, that's better. That's cutting in the way it's supposed to. Yeah, maybe, maybe not, Mark. Not sure. Hang on, let me see. Looking for another screwdriver with maybe a better tip to it. That was Tyson. He makes some really weird noises when he's scratching himself because he's got allergies and he itches all the time. You know what? I am not going to fight with this anymore. None of them are going all the way down. I think I may have lost screws because I only got the DPs and I see two different kinds of screws still to be used. hopefully I have some of them. This is irritating. Ah. Found them. They were in the box. Still in the plastic. So, 1, 2... five NPs and 3 or 2 LPs, which means I should, since I'm putting something right over top of these screws to where I'm never going to be able to get to them again, I'm going to take them out and see if I can get them to thread outside of here. That's right now. That's the problem. Is I can't get them to drive in any further, and they need to be firmly seated if at all possible. There are some very nice parts to this thing, and there are some really pain in the ass parts. It doesn't feel like it's turning at all. Sorry guys, I'm not talking much. I'm getting frustrated with these damn screws. Time to overcome my inability to see black screws inside of a black part. Come on, I feel that you're loose. There's one. That one's coming. See what my plan is, guys. As soon as I can get these all out, I will run them into the plastic outside to where it's cutting, the threads are all cut. That one's not going to come yet. There's that one. Tyson, stop it. Okay. That one's chewed up. We double check. Plenty of DP screws. We can go. Just this one last one to pull back out. and it's pretty chewed up as well. So it can go. Now let me take a brand new pristine DP screw that has never been into anything and try this again. Except for this time I'm going to cut the threads. And I'm off camera again, guys, sorry. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a screw to cut the threads all the way in. It's almost like I don't think these screws are long or short enough. Says to use DP, but here's the problem. Let me see. Okay. So that's as far in as it'll go right now. So that's the problem, is that the hole is not deep enough in the plastic. There it is. So while I'm trying to cut these threads, it's not making it all any further in. So let me try this. And let me see if I can snap a screw off inside here. Okay, that should be deep enough. Take it back out. I'm going to use that same screw on the other 3 holes. And going back in the second time should not be near as hard. So I'm doing, Mark, is these are self-tapping screws. The problem is that they didn't cut the holes deep enough. So I'm having to force the issue, because as I'm cutting the threads, the plastic is going down into the hole. And Wayne on World of Wayne has mentioned issues like this. This is just the first time on any of these I've ever run into. Hopefully that got the crumbs out of there. This one's going to be interesting because I'm probably not going to be able to get the screwdriver onto it. Either that or I'm going to send the screwdriver deep inside of it. I actually just caught that screw on my shirt, guys. Don't ask me how. So that one's been, this one was in there pretty far. I just need to get a couple more turns on it. And I'm actually pushing these screws in further than they'll have to be. Now see, that would have been, that would have helped a lot if they'd have done that. I just actually tapped this one far enough through that it just went through the back of the plastic. I remember that. I may even have that somewhere still. But I think what it was there were some people that were actually stripping out the screws, and so they had to give you that tapping tool. speaking of the Falcon and all the Star Wars stuff, saw something on Facebook yesterday. They aren't here yet, but a model company called Fan Home is who picked up all the D'Agostini Star Wars stuff. They're working on coming out in the States, and when they do, I think one of the first things that they're going to actually release will be the Iron Man exoskeleton suit. I will be all over that if it comes to the States. I've seen a couple of the test parts on it, and I'm like, I'm fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. I'm very excited to even have a chance to get it. Okay. I'm going to try these ones that are out here where they're easier to get to first. The two that are by the chair, I've actually tapped all the way through the plastic. Damn it. Let's try this again. Put it in the hole. Okay, that, I think, yeah, that's caught. So while I'm fighting with, before I tighten it all the way down, let me, no, it's not going to be fully wearable, unfortunately. It's going to be like 1/6 scale. Itchy nose. Come on. There we go. That one's down. That one's down. Good. Now I can do those last two. And if they don't go all the way, get all the way completely tight, that will be fine. Note to self, next time use a screw to tap the damn thing out first. The question is, am I going to listen to myself, because the next part that I'm attaching is the front floor. Cool, it is in there. That's how it sits there, and I've managed not to knock any of the cables loose. I'm not going to do anything with those cable ties yet. So now, like I said, Next thing that it says to do is attach the front seats. So let me pull them off of here. Got the hood in the way right now. And so, let's see, how does that go on? Okay, so these two, 4, 6, 7 screws. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it should go on here like that. Interesting that there's lugs back here. There aren't here. So first NP. I'm not fighting with it the way I did with that last one. I learned my lesson there. You get one of these out. It'll come. So Kenny, if you buy this thing, highly suggest you tap some of the screw holes out first using screws from the kit. Pull this off before I screw something up. This is one of those times that I wish I'd bought an electric screwdriver that would fit these.
Text me when you're done.
So what?
Text me when you're done.
Okay. That one should be tapped in far enough. Tile Monster 0, me 1. So this would be the last, or no, both of these have to get tapped with this screw. And then there's 2 LPs on the other side. I don't know if you guys have got just headlights like the one I've got. I'm not wearing my cheaters. What I've got is just a strap-on headlight. Okay. Actually, let me get one of the ones from here. And so these last 2 go right here. These 2 have to be tapped. Of course, it would help a lot if it wasn't cross-threaded. Okay, that should be good. And one last one. My biggest fear is when I'm doing something like this, I hear this really bad snap or crash, and that was just my, yeah, F-16 parts everywhere. I have entirely too many models going at the same time. Okay. Oh, you know what? I should angle that out a little bit so that you guys can actually see where I'm working. Okay, so these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 posts, 2 lugs here, because that's where the seat is at. That's going to be the first spot that I attach. Where's it? One more, and of course I didn't use any from that came today, or from this pack. That's much better. Guten Tag. So let me throw these screws in there. This is one of those stages that when you get done, you go sit in the corner and cry a little bit because it was such a pain in the ass. Okay. Put these back in here. Grab this screw box. See if I can get the NP off of here. Okay, back in business, guys. Sorry, I've been very quiet tonight because I'm fighting with some of this stuff. But I think this should be the last of it. The last difficult part. The other 2 steps I think should be pretty easy. I actually didn't think this was going to take this long. I might actually end up breaking this into today and Thursday. Do the second half of the Ecto on Thursday. Okay, so good. Much more better. I need 3 of these. Oh yeah. Highly recommend doing what I did if you build something like this, because these are going in so much better than the first ones were. Of course, be careful what you say, because that one is kind of trying to act up. So let me put this one in. This one. Okay. And now we have the full floor plan. This is actually the back deck. I think the ambulance rear door should be here. You got the front seat here, jump seat here. And 2 more stages left for the night. I need a drink. I have a drink. Okay. So let me see. 53 and 54. Yeah, these shouldn't be too bad. because they're small. Let me move this out of the way for right now. It's huge. 53. A lot of parts. The oscilloscope, but it's a lot of small parts. These things are not wanting to open tonight either. Many, many pieces. There's actually somebody on the Ecto 1 build group on Facebook that is keeping track of how many parts and how many screws. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but I know it's lots and lots of parts. So I want to say let me just make sure. I'm just making sure I didn't open the wrong one. Let me look at which parts there should be in here just to make sure that I'm not. $53A. Which one is 53A? Oh, no wonder. I'm going after the wrong part first. 53A. Bear with me, guys, while I look this up. Okay, so 53A, and this is 53B. It looks like it can go. No, there's only one direction it can go. Because if you look at the pins versus the holes, it can only go in there one direction, like that. Because if you try and do it the other direction, it won't seat. There you have a whole bunch of buttons. So 2 EP screws. You find IP, KP, GP, so these must be EP. Yep. That's a lot of screws left over in there. Okay. 2 times EP. Put the screw through right here. Not happy the paint's a little bit damaged there, but I believe that's on the inside, so you won't be able to see it. One. Two. There you go. Like I said, a little bit of damage to the paint right here. Yeah, you can see it on this part right here. These 2 short metal tabs. It actually does not say which side goes which. Well, here's hoping I don't put the wrong one in the wrong side. take a look and see how this ends up, because I would hate to have to take it all back apart. So the shorter one, okay, got it right. The shorter ones will go here, the longer ones will go here. And those will be put on with KP screws. All 4 of them get put on with 4 KP screws, so I'm going to do 2. I'm going to pull out 4 screws right now and just get them all done at one time. The panel parts are plastic. These brackets, the braces, whatever you want to call them, are metal strips. And the way I could tell is I looked at the couple pages further on, and this single row down here is at the bottom with short legs. So there's the second screw and flat piece of metal. There's the longer 2 tabs. Wonder, are they magnetic? They are. That would have been easier. So this one will go on here. Fourth screw here. So it ends up looking like that with the side legs. You got shorter ones down here where the single row of buttons are. Take this large piece, bunch of holes here, 4 lugs here, the shear screws are going to go into here, and this has 2 times 53H on the front of it. 53H. It's just a panel with some knobs on it. It's almost focusing, but not very well. And these get held on by GP screws. Four each. So there's 2, 3, come on, 4. On the top, on the bottom of each one, which this could have actually been glued on instead, so you don't have this big ugly black screw on it. I know that I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I haven't looked, but I'm pretty sure that somebody's done the aftermarket for this as a either 3D printed or a resin piece. to make it look a little bit more screen accurate, better. So there's that. Got the knobs on the side, giant screws on it. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Hang on. Oh, too much light. Nope, still too bright. There you can see it a little bit. The sine wave from the oscilloscope. There, like I said, there is a mod out to make the sine wave actually be backlit and move. This gets 2 more EP screws. Might eventually decide to do that. Well, can't do it eventually. I need to do it pretty damn quick. Otherwise, I won't be able to get it in there. This is a interesting spot to try and get a screw into because it's not a straight shot. Put two screws go in here to hold the screen from the oscilloscope on there. Let's see if this one's maybe. That one's good. So the front of the oscilloscope is now done. And it looks like these handles for the front for the oscilloscope, yeah, they're just pushing. Let's see if it's, yeah, that's going to be snug enough. I was going to say, let me see if it needs glue, but it doesn't. It is very snug in there. So now you got the handles on the front of the oscilloscope. There are 2 left and right. Okay. So if we're looking at it from the front, this should be the right. And there's a picture showing that these tabs should be down all the way they are. You can't really see them on the camera. And the same thing with the left-hand side. There are screw holes. Okay, I see what those screw holes are. There are screw holes on this side. That's where the legs from the other panel are going to fit. So that's with the sides on. Isn't that dandy? Go back and look at this, and I had them exactly backwards. I have to say, some of the, oh, it actually fits in so much better too. Some of the parts, when they took them off the sprue in the factory, they did not do that good of a job. But with a silver painted part, there's not much I can do. I mean, you can see that there where it was cut off the sprue. I can't really sand it. It's okay, Donnie. You didn't. Let's see. We're an hour and 40 in, and the way some of this stuff is gone, I could be an hour and 40 still to go. So, there's the oscilloscope. Got the sides on. This now goes on with these 2 extra points towards the back. Again, this one I have to fix. Because look at that, how they cut that off this sprue. That is terrible. That tab there would make the box stay open. So easy to just do it a little bit better, especially when machines are doing it. Then you end up with the Terminator showing up saying, "Stop dissing on the machines, man." I could. It's probably... Yeah, that's true. Donnie was playing with it. That's why he wasn't here. He even said that he was going to go play with it. I could sand it, but it's going to be inside where I don't think it's going to be at all visible. So after you're playing with it, Donnie, how was it? Did you like it? And for those of you who are joining late and aren't on Discord, Donnie got the HLI board that I pointed out earlier. He got his today, and he said after he got it, that he was going to play with it tonight. So we've been picking on him about playing with it ever since. You know, Donnie, if she finds out that you're playing with it, she'll probably be like, "Thank God." Sorry, man. Couldn't help myself. Two more to put in here. Oscilloscope, one of those wonderful toys they gave us in F-16 aircraft maintenance that we never used, but we had it. We didn't need it. That and the one of the greatest toys I ever heard or ever played with while I was in the Air Force. Ultrasonic leak detector. Had this little microphone thing on top of it. Pair of headphones you put on, and you could hear the air move. There's this thing called Brownian motion. The air is always moving. You could literally hear the air. So, yeah, on the one hand, Donnie, I could paint those spots up, but these tabs come pretty close to covering it. So KP screws, 4 each. Yes. It's really funny when you put that thing on and you turn the gain up and you realize what you're hearing is air molecules bouncing against each other. And then we had another one, the it was called a time domain reflectometer, which is a really fancy name for a wire tester that shoots a pulse down a wire and reads when the pulse comes back, and then reads out, says to you that you have a broken wire and the break is 8 feet down. Again, another high-tech toy that they bought, they gave us, was there for us to use it if we needed it. And in 24 years, I think I saw that TDR used once. Basically, being a radar troop, I said, okay, so it's radar for wires. What, one of these? Or a time domain reflectometer? Or an ultrasonic leak detector? The neat high-priced toys they have invented and they buy and nobody ever uses. The TDR. Okay, just about done on here. Okay, so oscilloscope, which these are, I'm sure these are supposed to be test points and or buttons. I'm thinking the white ones would be buttons and the metallic black ones would be test points. Last pack for night. That's pretty cool. That's really cool, Spence. I find it kind of funny that when I first joined the Air Force, we had all this neat equipment in our tech school, and so much of it we never saw again. Because I joined the Air Force when we were moving away from pull the box, take the box in the shop, use all this equipment to test out the box and figure out what's wrong, to pull the box, send it to back shop, and they're going to do all that shit. And you're going to put in a new box. So, another box, speaking of which. Bunch of buttons on one side. A couple of holes on the other side. No, Donnie, he said propagation delay, not procreation delay. So 2 times 54C, they're exactly the same on both sides. And yes, you are absolutely right. Kids are a great procreation delay. Having had 4 of them in the house, I know. Okay, so this one, a couple of lugs on this side, lugs that go down inside, 4 screws to hold it on. And on this side, the edge is a little bit recessed so that it will fit in like so, leaving a little shelf there. Let me get out the AP screws, which I already have a ton of them. It's okay, Donnie. Okay, so there's one. Oh, and by the way, Donnie, if you go back and rewatch this, there's going to be about a half hour that you can watch it or not. I would skip it myself, even though it's my video, simply because putting the 2 floor pans together sucked out loud. I had got part of it, or not, it wasn't even the floor pans, it was the jump seat. I had got it partially way in and I had to take it back apart. Because the screws were just fighting me for all they were worth to not go in. Okay. Come on. Again, I caught a screw with my shirt. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to where you guys can see it, but this is not a screw. This would be a rivet with threads, because there's no cross point. There's nowhere for the screwdriver to grab hold. And last screw to go in there. Make sure these are all tight. That hurt. I just pushed the corner and it's pretty sharp into my finger. So right here we have about 5 switches, or 5 buttons and 1 switch. We have 5 buttons, or 1 switch, 2 switches, 5 buttons and 2 switches to put in there. I'm going to see, are they snug or do they need glue? That should be good. They shouldn't come out. Famous last words. Next time I open the box, they're going to be all gone. And number 5. Ah, the proton pack puts those screws in. I didn't know. I should have. That could be better. I am so glad that my shirt is grabbing things as they fall today. I almost lost one of the buttons. Come on. Three. Number 4. And number 5 going in now. So there we've got I need to get my lighting setup done. There you can see the 5 knobs or buttons. And then I've got 2 knobs to push in. Okay, I was just checking to make sure. That one I think I actually lost. Don't. I tried to lose it, but I didn't manage to. You guys didn't see it. This one just dropped, and it actually made it to the floor. Okay, and so there are now two knobs on there. Come on. There. That's better. Now you can see the knobs. Okay, that goes on the bottom here. So these two lugs that were on the bottom of the oscilloscope, this thing, which is, let's see, oscilloscope screw, BGM 340 guidance system that goes underneath there. Two lugs here, sockets there with screw holes on both. That goes in there like that, using two more AP screws. That sounds like two that fell out. This one started. The other one started. I'm going to switch screwdrivers because this screwdriver is a little bit wide to get into this spot. It's also pushing the base of the oscilloscope down. Come on. That's one side. There's the other side, so now it is a single pack. KP. Whole bunch of KP screws to take these four pieces and attach them to here. It's actually not a whole bunch, it's 6 of them. And it'll actually, right now, these can come separate. It'll hold them together. We have the base that'll go onto. So IPs are for the last step. KPs, there's going to be 12 of them. So you can see if I can grab about 6 out. It looks like about 6 or more. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down in the front. That way it's no longer stressing those 2 screws in the back. Only one of these brackets needs to go onto one spot. I had 2 of them there for a second. And again, I'm going to put screws in loosely first so that I can get the rest of make sure I get all 3 of them into each piece before I tighten them down. I'm going to tighten the 3rd one down all the way right off the bat. That's number 2 there. Number 3. Let me do the 2nd bracket on this side. Starting again at the top. And the bottom one, when I get to the bottom one, it flexes that piece, the side piece, pretty fiercely. I said fierce. What about 2 hours? Yay! I'm gonna go to about 2:15 tonight, guys. I may someday, no, I'm not. I was gonna say I may someday start doing one pack at a time or stage at a time. I'm not gonna do it. I wanna do a full magazine every time I do a stream. So do the same over here. Total of 6 screws on this side as well. Yes, actually, Donnie, it is very difficult with some of these screws. The problem is these are self-tapping screws, and the plastic is harder than it should be for the screws. That, and when you're dealing with screws this small, it's really easy to strip them. Like I said, there's about a half hour of the stream tonight you can skip over if you want, because I'm fighting with screws for that half hour, and it's not getting them in, it's getting them back out so that I can tap the holes. Because I actually had to use a pair of needle nose pliers to put some of the screws, get some of the screws to where I could actually get the threads far enough in. And to me, it looked like, when I got done, it looked to me like the screw that they said to use for this spot was just too long, and the screw hole wasn't deep enough. Okay. Get these last 3 in here. And try not to dig into my hand too much with the brackets. Okay, so that's that. There's a locating lug right here. Oh, you know what? No? Okay, never mind. Trying to figure this out. Okay, there's a locating lug right there. It's actually a locating pin right here. 2 insets for these 2 lugs. The pin will go in here. If I can find it. Oh, I'm doing things out of order. I should have put this on using these IP screws here before I did those brackets. But, you know, as long as it gets done, it gets done. So the IP screws will go into these holes here, right here. The locating lug is on the other side. Or the locating pin is on the other side. There's another locating pin here for going when it goes into the car. Tighten this down. I don't remember if I was working on this yet, or if I had the floor pan when you got here, Donnie. If I had the floor pan out, this isn't going to be a surprise. If I didn't, hold on to your butt, because this thing is now huge. So this assembly with the, I forget what that one was called, the BGM 340 and the oscilloscope, this whole thing goes behind the driver's seat. I'm just looking. So these are locating pins. Okay, so the oscilloscope points this way. These are actually look like they should be screw holes, but for right now at least, they're just locating pins. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm ahead of myself. By forgetting to put this piece on, forgot to put the screws into there. Into those, what I was saying looks like locating pins now, but should be screw holes. They are actually screw holes. I'm really with it tonight, guys. So a KP screw will go on to each of these brackets to quote unquote hold the part down. It is cosmetic because you got screws in the bottom. For some reason I was thinking these brackets would actually attach to the back of the back deck of the car. I keep calling it a floor pan, and it's not really a floor pan because it is not indented, it's a deck. Now this makes better sense. So now you can see there's two screws on either side holding these brackets down, which are holding the rest of it. And then the oscilloscope and the knobs for the BGM 340 all point towards the seat, the jump seat. Really? Oh wait, would help if I put it further far enough back. And it all sits down like that, and I love where they put that one screw. Isn't that a great place right back here? Right back here where you can barely even get a screwdriver in. I love when they do that. So let me hope that that screw will go in without any problem. Down. Feels like it's threaded. I think it might actually be tight. We're getting there. It's tight! Yay! So much easier than the last time. Supposed to say that's what she said, Kenny. Okay. Get this last screw in. Put these screws away. I don't know if you guys want to see it, but I want to see this thing now sitting on the chassis. So let me move this over here and hope it doesn't fall. And no, something just fell. I hope it wasn't important. It was my paintbrush. Not an important one. So let me see. I need to move it this way. Okay. Very gently put the screwdriver shaft through there. Move these front parts. And it's in. There is the interior of the Ecto 1. These wires should just run here somewhere. Actually, I think they actually run across the back somewhere. Let me see if the magazine. Wow. You see real quick what it shows in the magazine. They're just. Well, there you go. Ain't I special? I didn't pay attention. I'm almost done. Not quite. So these go down through here. Probably would have been easier to do if I'd have done it at the right time. So there's one. There's the other one trying to go through the wrong spot. Okay. They go down here. Let me pick this hole. Hang on. They wrap around. Let me see if I can show it. And there are two holes right down there that they plug into. It's going to be interesting because I'm going to have about 4 feet left of the extra excess. And I'm not gonna. Let's see. I'm not gonna mess around with this time because I know this is larger than it needs to be. So I'm gonna cut that nipple off the end so that when I get them wrapped around in there, and I actually get them into the hole, they'll feed in easier. Would have been really nice to know this before, where I could actually pull these things in. And I'm just not feeling it tonight. I'm going to do that off camera because I'm tired. But yeah, these will wrap down around inside there. It is very huge. And the funny thing is, Kenny, let me think, where's my mouse? Where's my camera? Where's my mouse? Okay. Okay. Where's my OBS? Okay. So what I was going to say, Kenny, is the funny thing is these are not the largest parts. This white part, tan part, whatever you want to call it, is the largest part I've gotten so far. But what's coming is shortly is body parts, and body parts are even huger, if that's a word, because they the body itself, from the front fenders to the back, is one single piece. There's going to be pieces that are bolted onto it, but the frame of it is actually one single piece. I've seen pictures of it. So, did a lot tonight. Got a lot done. Got a lot of frustration. Got a few parts. I've got to take that. I'm going to take that part back off the assembly with the oscilloscope back off so that I can actually pull those tubes in and make them snug, make them look correct. But I'm kind of pleased with the way she's going. A lot of work done tonight. Yeah, me either. And I want to say this is pack 15. I think it's pack 19 when you get the body. But a lot of work tonight. A little bit of frustration. Not too bad. I don't mind when things don't go wrong, as long as I'm able to fix them. And fortunately tonight, nothing got broken. A couple of things I got frustrated with a couple of things, but it's going to be really easy to take care of the rest of it. These tubes going in, not a big deal. If it comes down to it and I can't get, actually I may just do that. I may just cut them short and just glue them in the hole. Because once they go in the hole, they don't have to come out again. I don't think they wrap around anymore. So, it's been a long stream tonight, actually. What is it, 8:10? So, yeah, including the intro, that's 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think that's my longest stream yet. I didn't plan on it being that long. If I'd have tapped those screws out first, we'd have cut a good 20 minutes off. But it's neither here nor there. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks, Kenny. Everybody have a great night. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Have a great evening. Have a great tomorrow. Like and subscribe if you like the content. No pressure. I enjoy doing this. I do it because somebody kind of mentored me, not knowing he mentored me, into doing what I can for the community, and I do. And that someone would be you, Kenny. So, have a great night. I will talk to you guys on Discord and tomorrow and whatnot. If you're not a member of HLI, stop by the site. It's Hobby Link International. It's there's a link in the description. Great bunch of guys. If you're into modeling or if you just like to look at modeling, you don't have to build. You can come over there and just look. A lot of us spend a lot of time. I mean, I spend more time looking at other people's modeling than I have time to build. Getting better at it, but you have the time that you got. So have a great evening, and I will catch you on the flip side.